Welcome to Living in Tune with Nature, hosted by Jesse Meany. Episode 3, Learning and Living by the Four Elements. When we practice living in tune with nature, there are some key elements when tuning in during this practice. I literally mean elements. There are 4 elements that we can divide everything into: earth, air, fire, and water. Many people can relate to one or more of these elements if they are familiar with their zodiac sign, and there are many other areas which use these elements as fundamentals, including Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, the chakra system, and shamanic healing, just to name a few. Each element has qualities associated with it, which we can work with to invite balance and harmony into our lives. Every person is made up of all 4 elements and is dominant in certain ones. A person can be dominant in 1, 2, 3, or all 4 elements. When we know which we are dominant in, we can use this energy to balance ourselves spiritually, mentally, and physically. For instance, if a person is dominant in earth and water energy, he or she may bring in elements of fire and air to balance and bring harmony into life. We want to bring in complementary elements into our lives to stabilize the 4 elements in our energy. So how do we know what elements we're dominant in, and how can we keep these elements balanced? As stated before, elements have certain qualities. Air is change, movement, rapid, cold. Earth is cold, heavy, grounded, sturdy, with a lack of movement. Water is cold, movement, change, and emotional. Fire is hot, intense, assertive, and bold. You may be able to identify with a mixture of these qualities in yourself. Most people are not just dominant in 1, but 2 or more. If you know your zodiac sign, you may have an idea of one of your stronger elements. And if you know your birth chart, you may have a pretty good idea of where you stand with all your elements. However, you don't need to know your entire birth chart. If you can take an honest look at yourself, you will probably be able to figure this out easily. Think about the elements that agitate you a little. That might be one of your dominant elements. So let's take a look at some of these elemental qualities. People dominant in air usually run colder, and cooler weather and wind agitates them since they already have plenty of that energy. They also may seem to move at a rapid pace and seem spacey or all over the place when trying to do a project. They might tend to multitask, although they might not always tend to do it efficiently. You may see a lot of enthusiastic or nervous energy in these people, and they have smaller, thinner body types. But balance is key. They would want to be warm, eat warm foods, and do activities that keep them grounded and focused. When a person's dominant in water energy, they may also run cooler in temperature, and their emotions may change easily. Water people may have more of a go-with-the-flow approach to life, but should be careful not to be a bit of a pushover. Water energy people tend to have a medium build or sturdier if they have a lot of earth energy as well. Earth energy people are very grounded. They invite stability and have the sturdiest body type. They may be slower moving and more present. A person with a lot of earth energy would want to focus on activities that keep them moving and active, since there's a tendency to be sedentary. A person dominant in fire energy tends to have a medium body type, being able to lose or gain weight easily if desired. They run warm, and warmer temperatures might agitate them. They would be more assertive people with a fiery attitude, which can be great for forging ahead in life, but can also have tendencies towards aggressive behavior if out of balance. A fire-dominant individual would want to lean towards a diet of cooling foods and avoid hot conditions, to balance energy. This is just a brief overview of some of the qualities and characteristics of the 4 elements and how we see this energy in ourselves and others. The awesome thing about learning the qualities of the 4 elements is that we can start to work with them in our daily life. We start to understand ourselves, mind, body, and soul, as well as understand others, which leads to living a more compassionate lifestyle. Also, we can look at the qualities we see in nature and use the elements in nature for balance. Foods have these qualities. They have these elemental qualities. There are some foods which are beneficial for balancing everyone regardless of their dominant energy, such as ginger. But for the most part, a single natural food does not possess the qualities of all 4 elements. Only humans are made up of all 4 elements. Certain foods are warming, others are cooling. Some foods are light and airy, such as lettuce and apples, which would be great for a person with a lot of earth energy or fire energy. We can also think about foods that are more heavy and dense that might have more earth energy, such as meats and some root vegetables. We would want to eat food that complements our dominant energy, not necessarily the same element we are dominant in, since that can create agitation in our bodies and lead to an unbalanced lifestyle. Food is not the only way we can balance our elements. Exercise is also a great way to create harmony. Some individuals need to focus on maintaining movement during the day. Earth-dominant individuals make great athletes when they find their motivation, but others may need to select an exercise that makes them slow down and focus. Air and fire energy people are probably full of movement throughout the day and may actually have a harder time slowing down, sitting still, and staying focused. Yoga, Tai Chi, and meditation are great for these individuals, which meditation is actually highly recommended for all types. There's actually different types of meditation and yoga for each dominant energy as well. Getting outside is something I always stress, since it's a great way to experience all 4 elements. Many people think of going outside as grounding, which it is. They think of earth energy, but on a sunny day, fire energy is added. Being near water adds that element, and being in the fresh air adds our air element. Again, we always want to think in terms of balance and complementing when it comes to the elements. When we do this, we can allow ourselves to adjust to whatever nature is doing as well. For example, when the seasons change, what do? On a hot summer day, people are flocking to swimming pools or water parks or air-conditioned buildings to balance the fire energy nature is providing. Cold drinks and ice cream are popular as well this time. Then, getting into winter months, many people are looking to warm up with heat therapies and warming food. If we pay attention, we notice nature is providing us with appropriate foods for the season. Certain fruits and vegetables grow better during different seasons, and they become ripe at certain seasons, according to the climate they're growing in. If you're not sure what is in season, try visiting your local farmer's market. There's a good chance they're offering what's fresh and appropriate for the season. Right now we're in the middle of fall and headed for winter. The food companies push a lot of foods that are harvested in the fall and keep well during the winter, and these are most likely warming foods like squash. What are we seeing all over the place right now? Pumpkin spice everything. So just be aware of your surroundings. Nature knows what it's doing, and it's up to you to understand and adjust. It becomes easier to tap into healing energy when we can find a harmonious flow in life. When working with the elements, a tremendous amount of healing encompasses the mind, body, and soul, since we're working with our complete self. this is important because we're not just a physical body and we're not just a mental energy. We are a combination of consciousness inhabiting the physical and mental for our experiences in the world. When we work with ourselves or others, we need to understand what we're working with, especially for healing and self-care purposes. Taking a look into the elements and how they relate to the world and us as human beings is a great place to start. If you or anyone you know makes an excuse for a behavior by bringing a zodiac sign into it, you can think in terms of how to create balance. Maybe after listening today, instead of thinking something like, well, I'm a Leo, and this is just how I am, I could think, I'm a fire sign. What can I do to create balance in my life? I invite you to give it a try and explore this area of life. Thank you for listening, and I hope you can find areas in your life where this information can be applied in a healthy and beneficial way. This is Jessie Meany. Until next time, thanks for listening.